Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Norah is on assignment. I'm Major Garrett. We begin tonight with important news on COVID booster shots. An FDA advisory panel today gave a thumbs up to Johnson & Johnson's booster after doing the same for Pfizer and Moderna. The FDA will formally decide on those boosters next week. The panel recommended people get J&J's boosters at least 2 months after their initial vaccination. While the U.S. has reported more COVID cases and more deaths than any other nation, the head of the World Health Organization this week called the widespread use of booster shots immoral and unjust until more people, he said, in the poorest countries get their first vaccination. The Biden administration, which is sending tens of millions of COVID shots to poor countries, hopes the booster program will help the U.S. finally get the pandemic under control and not incidentally get America back to work. CBS's Mireya Villarreal leads off our coverage tonight from Fort Worth, Texas. Mireya, good evening.
Good evening, Major. Right now, today's discussions about the Johnson & Johnson booster vaccine actually included discussions and questions about the overall effectiveness of this particular vaccine, with a study just recently coming out saying that of all the vaccines, J&J was the weakest.
More than 15 million Americans who received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine are now one step closer to a booster shot.
We do have 19 out of 19 unanimous yes votes.
In contrast to the Pfizer and Moderna recommendations, the panel is suggesting all adults 18 and older who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine get the booster as early as 2 months after their original shot. But the panel also heard concerns about the overall efficacy of the J&J vaccine.
All of the data do not fully align with this being a vaccine that retains excellent activity over time.
Is there a concern that this creates confusion for people who are maybe on the fence?
This is actually how science works. And you want us to do that. I mean, you want people to update guidance based on new data and new evidence. And my hope is it doesn't breed distrust, but in fact makes people realize that this is a good part of the process.
On Thursday, the CDC added mental health disorders, including depression and schizophrenia, to the list of underlying conditions for those eligible to get a booster. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal is reporting the FDA has delayed a decision on whether to authorize Moderna's vaccine for kids 12 and up. The agency reportedly wants more time to assess any potential risk of the rare inflammatory heart condition, myocarditis. More than 68,000 people in Texas have died from COVID-19, and doctors worry the state could soon lead the nation in mortality rates. An executive order recently issued by Governor Greg Abbott bans private businesses from imposing vaccine mandates.
Governor Abbott and our elected leaders in the legislatures should be doing everything they can to save lives. And that's getting more people protected via vaccination, not taking away the tools we have to do so.
Here in downtown Fort Worth, health officials are hoping pop-up clinics like the one that you see behind me will actually get more people vaccinated in the state. Now, the CDC is set to meet next Thursday to discuss the boosters, but the earliest Americans will get a hold of them will be on Friday of next week. Major?
With all the steps in the process, Mireya Villarreal, we thank you very much.